Okay, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Sacred Spaces Zoom meeting. Today it's January, what is it? January
7th.
2023. So we had a little glitch in the system here. Well, actually the glitch was in this system here as we were starting the meeting, and I was supposed to remember to hit record and I kind of forgot. So we're going to go back and record the intro for this Zoom meeting, because otherwise you're going to be lost of who are these other three beautiful ladies here with me today. So one of the things too I want to mention is in the original recording, you're not going to see anybody else's faces on here because we asked people not to do that. We just did that because we had a lot of people, and then the chat was also disabled for the majority of the meeting until the end when we were asking some questions. So that will be why you may not see a chat on the side of this recording or on the other one. So anyway, welcome again. And I've got these three ladies here to help me out today, and they did a fabulous job. And we're going to just go through again and let each one of them introduce themselves and kind of say a little bit about what they do. And then we'll go from there. So I will turn it over, just like we did the first time, over to Gail first, and she can tell you who she is and what she does.
Hello, everybody. I'm Gail Simmons, and I live in Ontario in Canada, originally from Nova Scotia. Very proud of that. And I have done energy work since I was 17 years old, starting with dreams that came true. I could warn people about airplane crashes and things like that. And I do animal communication primarily with animals, both present and those who have passed. And I do soul readings, and I find spirit animals for people. And it's all with the hopes of making people happier, more connected between this world and the other energy world.
Thank you, Gail. All right, Heather Drummond.
My name's, here we go. Mercury in retrograde. Let's do a big.
It's been a lovely day.
So I'm a naturopath out of New Brunswick, Canada, and I work with animals and people, helping them with stress and inflammation. I work to support them physically, emotionally, and energetically. I've been talking to animals, I think, since I was a little kid, and just love diving into the horse world in the last 5 years and making connections with clients and their horses and other amazing horse people like the people on this Zoom. Thank you so much, Susan, for inviting me. It's an honor to be here.
Thank you, Heather. All right, Laura.
Hi, I'm Laura Thomas, and I'm from South Carolina. I'm an animal communicator and an energy worker and a lifelong horse person. Like Heather and Gail, have been talking to animals since I was a little kid. Always felt a huge connection to animals, and I love helping people connect on a deeper level, on an energetic level with their animals, so that they can live more harmoniously together and understand each other better. And thank you, Susan, for inviting me to be here today.
Yes, and I want to kind of tell everybody why I like to have these people here, because sometimes it feels kind of impersonal on the Zoom meetings when you've got a lot of people, and I like to have a group that I feel like I'm speaking to or with, so I can see reactions and feel that kind of connection here. And often, again, it's kind of hard to do that when it's a great big meeting. And I just thought also it's really fun, like if I talk about a particular topic, that I can ask for input from other people here about their experiences with what I'm talking about or their take on it. They may explain it a slightly different way than I do. And so it's really, for me, it's really fun to have other people in kind of a casual conversation. And I've talked to Gail about this, and maybe Heather too. It's like, I'm not one to get out and just feel like I could just look at the screen and, teach you something and, do all that fancy stuff. And I always want to have that feeling of it's a conversation and it's kind of casual. It's more real life than some of the other stuff. And I always feel like everything I do is really, I can't do scripted things very well. It feels to me like it's disingenuous, and I feel like I'm I stutter. See, I just stuttered even thinking about it. You could see me, like, I went to that energy of I was going to have to do some kind of a speech, and it was going to be practiced, and I would have to do that. And it just, you could see, if you go back and watch this recording, you see what happened to me at that moment. When I went back and thought about that, I couldn't talk. And it felt so unnatural. And so going forward, most of the things I'm going to do, if not all of them, are going to be more like just me speaking to you from my heart, from what I know. And that's how it's going to be, whether I do classes down the way, and that's how they'll be. They probably won't be scripted, and I won't have my whiteboard behind me and drawing a lot of stuff. I will be speaking from my heart and from my soul, and telling you my experiences. And so today we talked a little bit about dealing with uncertainty. I think that's so funny. I must have caught it somewhere during the week, like how to deal with uncertainty. Well, we got a big dose of uncertainty today with the meeting and trying to set it up and trying to get everything working properly. And what was really funny is we had such a hard time when we were right before the meeting, and it took us a little while to get the sound working and get all the things organized. And then we came back later in the evening and we're filming this introduction section, and there was absolutely no problem at all. It went so smoothly. We all came on, all of our microphones worked, all of our videos worked, everything went smoothly. So you have to question what was going on, and that part of dealing with the uncertainty. You know, there was a moment where I'm going to panic because I'm letting down all these people who were planning to get here. And then all of a sudden we find out, Gail finds out, like, we're stuck at 100 people being able to get in. And I'm like, what is going on? I paid for this big thing so I could have 500 people on the Zoom meeting, and it's saying it's only 100. I went back after this and I went home and I looked and I'm like, well, it says I have 500. Why did it keep telling me I can't let these other people in? So it's one of those things where, what do we do with uncertainty? You know, and I'm going to be honest with you. I went home and I felt devastated. I was thinking I'd let down all these people who planned their day around coming to listen to this talk. And wow, I went back to some of my old patterns of, wow, I'm going to beat up on myself about this. There must have been something I did wrong. And I felt so bad, and I let myself feel it, and I felt myself go to that place again and go, you know what you did everything you could think to do, and you planned this out, and you made contingency plans, and with all of that said, what could you have done differently? And I had to go and sit with it and go, I don't know what else I could have done differently. And so this is one of those little test of, what do we do with the uncertainty, and how long do we let it bother us? I let it bother me for a while, and I knew I was letting it bother me, and it was okay because I knew I'll get over this. I'll go apologize to people. Hopefully they will forgive all of us for not letting them into the meeting, and really just know that it was not our intention at all to have something like that happen. And if you guys, before we end this little intro section, is there anything else you guys would like to add or say? And then, this is going to be kind of a little standalone intro video so that people know who you are. And then we can delve into our discussion later in the day when I did manage to record. So we can go around. Let's go around to Laura first. Is there anything you want to add to this discussion here?
I just want to say that I am extremely grateful to have met you and to be on this journey with you. It has made a huge difference in my life with my horses, but not just that, but in my interactions with people and other animals, because what you're teaching, even though you're applying it to horses, it ripples out into all areas of life. And the other piece of it is it's so incredibly simple. I don't mean it's easy, but it's simple, because sometimes simple is hard for us as humans. but I just want to say thank you.
Oh, and thank you. Thank you. Heather, do you have anything you want to add on this before they delve into the meeting?
Well, I would say that everything you've just shared is kind of a testament to the integrity behind what you do and who you are. The whole time I've known you, there's been a coherence and consistency to what you do and what you say. And the fact that something simple that you're presenting does not mean it's not profound. And that's the piece, like Laura's saying, it may not be easy, it may be extremely simple, but you have to actually do it in order for it to actually work. And I think that's with everything in life. We can learn a whole bunch of theory, we can go get the PhDs, we can take all these courses, and until we actually put it into practice, whether it's with the humans in our life, or I call them humans, that's just where that's a little thing I do. Anyway, people, I'm a human too. Anyways, oh my, somebody caught me on that once and it was like, oh shoot. Anyways, it's just to say, hopefully people get inspired to dive in deeper with you as you continue to share more and more of yourself with them, because and it's just such a delight to be able to participate the way you're inviting us here today to do so. It's just a delight to be able to share our points of view in such an open forum with you. So thank you again.
Thank you. Thank you. And Gail.
We're all on a journey, aren't we? Every one of us, and it's amazing how our paths cross. The universe has this all planned out for us. I know you were upset that this whole technological thing went awry. It seemed to have a mind of its own, and here we are so simply all together. But that's the journey. And so, my mom always said, do the best with what you can at the time with what you know. And you didn't just do your best, Susan. You just carry on doing even more than that. This is just a glitch, and our paths have crossed. And all of you who are watching this now are in for a great ride when you go through what we listened to, what Susan had to say this afternoon. It's fabulous, and it's nice to have you on this journey, all of you. And Susan, thank you for including me, for somehow coming into my life. And the same with you, Heather and Laura. It's just amazing. I feel like I've known you forever. And so that's the journey we're on with our animals too, is to get to know one another and to follow this path together. And Susan, you're the one who's laying down the pavement for us. A few bumps here and there, but we're still on the road. And I thank you so much for including me in it. It's a pleasure.
Thank you. And I think, just piggybacking on what you said, it's like just to not be afraid to go out and do something you haven't done. I mean, this is, for me, for a lot of people of the younger generations, this is like their essence. They know how to do all this technology, and it's very comforting and it feels very good for them. And they sometimes don't realize that our brains didn't get necessarily wired for technology, and I do fairly well with it, but it's like, well, when something goes wrong, what do I do? And it's like, here's a whole bunch of people watching you stumble through, and we're always so afraid of people seeing us fail, or what somebody would say, oh, look at the poor thing over there, she's poor thing, but if we take that approach to, wow, I'm defeated and I shouldn't try. And don't get me wrong, there was that moment where in my brain I said, I should just give this up. I don't have any business doing this. I should let the younger folk do it. And there we go. And that did come through my mind. But that's where you start to change, when you go, I noticed it came in. Am I going to listen to that voice? Or am I just going to go on and go, you know what? I'm going to pick up again and just keep on going. And just like we did, it's like we just made a plan. We're going to come back. We're going to film the other section. We're going to do our best. I'm going to apologize for people for the Zoom not letting us letting everyone in, and then we're going to go forward and forget about that.
Absolutely.
Okay, so with that said, I'm going to kind of end this first section. Is there anything else that I needed to tell anybody about the meeting that you guys remember before we get started? Okay, so this will be the end of the intro, and then you will just jump right in and see us discussing some different topics. So I hope you enjoy, and thank you so much for joining us. And all of you who didn't get on the live, you're still going to get to hear everything that we did and said. So thank you so much.